All right. Hello and welcome. My name is Staudinger.
And my name is Reble.
And this is our very first Livecast.
Very first.
Very first. So bear with us. There's going to be, hiccups and all sorts of issues. If you knew how we found creative ways for Lego, our son's Lego, to work with the things that we're doing. So bear with us. It's supposed to be fun, supposed to be inspiring. And if there's any challenges, we have our good friend Zachary Murray from Vanquished Visuals, who's going to be our producer here today. If there's anything you can't hear audio or anything like that, please let us know so we can fix it. Well, actually, Zach can fix it. And other than that, I hope you're having a good Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So, Rebecca, for those that may not know us, how are we going to quickly introduce ourselves?
Well, we told you our names already. So we are regular people, just like you. We are parents. We work. We're busy. We've got lots on the go. And we were inspired to do a 40-day juice fast.
Mm-hmm.
And we were also inspired to share that with others so that they could be inspired to do something great for their health. We didn't know what we were doing at the start. We did a lot of research, and we've actually done it. We have completed it, and we're here to share what we've experienced and what we've learned.
Mm-hmm. And also to celebrate and to kind of really inspire you. I mean, that's one of our passions, actually, to inspire other people, because you'll learn what we have found in those 40 days of drinking nothing but fresh vegetable juice. There's some amazing transformations that have been going on for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so really, what here today, this is really about inspire you to consider juicing and juice cleansing, remind you that you're not alone. And of course, we're also going to be, what are we going to be doing today, Rebecca?
We're going to be announcing the winner of our contest, in which somebody will win a juicer,
mm-hmm.
And a couple of Amazon gift cards, and of course our awesome t-shirts.
Mm-hmm. And we have also set aside a little bit of time to answer any and all of your questions. And I'm just going to say this right now. If we don't get to all of them, Rebecca and I have committed ourselves to answering them, and we'll do an encore presentation sometime in the future, so we won't leave you hanging.
So bear with us, because we are not professionals.
No, we're not.
We are regular people, like I said, regular people like you, just inspired and passionate about what we're doing and sharing it.
Mm-hmm. So, and before we get rolling, here's what you're gonna learn about today and what we'll have to share. So first of all, we'll go into what is juicing. What do we mean when we use the word juice?
Mm-hmm. Juicing versus blending.
Yeah, that's a big one. And then also, is juicing just a fad? Or, could it be that, it's been around for a long time? What else?
So also why you should make juicing a part of your and your family's lifestyle. We are parents. We have 2 kids. It's important to include everybody with it.
Yeah. We'll also give you a brief kind of guide on which juicer to get and which one maybe not to get, depending on your needs and your desires.
And we're going to go over our 5 most common juicing mistakes, and are you making them?
Mm-hmm.
We've made a few, that's for sure.
But we also got some cool tips for you as well, so stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a little bit about fasting in general. And
what is fasting?
Yeah, it's not starvation, by the way. Why you should consider a juice fast yourself.
When not to do a juice fast, because there are important times when it is not prudent to do so.
Yeah, and when, what actually the experts say as well about juice cleanses. And then we're lucky enough to have live guests on. Our first guest will be Danna Yahav, who is a health coach, and she's actually done the 4-day cleanse. We're so proud, we're so happy, and
we're going to hear a little bit about her personal experience with it. We're also going to talk about what the top benefits of juice fasting are.
Mm-hmm.
as well as, and this is a biggie, would be mindset, which we found throughout our 40 days, even getting started, that this is key to just about everything.
I think we'll come back to that over and over.
Mm-hmm.
We also have recommendations to make any fast, whether it's juice fast or otherwise, a success. And then we have the dreaded detox symptoms.
Of course, we got to discuss the detox symptoms.
Yeah.
We're going to have with us, and we're excited to have Mark Kearns with us. And we have done an interview with him, which you can see on our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. But he's going to be discussing a little bit of the emotional side of doing a fast.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we will announce our contest winner. Just to let you know, I will have to go off camera for a minute or so to just get this rolling. But we will do that, and then we have the Q&A. Mm-hmm. So
important to know, we are not doctors. We have said this before, nor do we play them on TV. It is likely that we have never met, so we can't give you any specific advice. So while we are sharing the benefits and evidence of why juice cleansing works and is good for you, we urge you to check with your healthcare provider first.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, and to be honest with you, Rebecca and I have spent well over $1,000 in tests, right? That's before and after our 40-day juice cleanse. Now, you don't have to go to this extreme, but one of the things that we do want to stress, it's important that you understand we're all adults here and that, take responsibility for our own health or the absence of it, right? That's really big.
And especially if you are pregnant, underweight, diabetic, have an unstable heart, or are diagnosed with heart disease or low blood pressure, or if you have any life-threatening health challenges, please talk to a health professional first before undergoing any cleanse or detox program. It's very important. We can't stress it enough.
Yeah, we like to say be smart, be healthy, and be inspired. And smart is really part of that.
Don't be stupid.
Yeah, don't be stupid. So let's start with what is juicing?
Yeah. Because most of us think we know what juicing is. After all, it's just juicing. Come on, how hard can it be? But it's really important that when we talk about juicing here today, we are talking about an 80-20 vegetable to fruit ratio. Ideally, you want to get to 90-10, depending on the type of vegetables and fruit that is juiced. And we definitely got there during our cleanse. So yeah, we just wanted to make sure that was known. Yeah,
no, that's a big one. We'll also get into the details about why it's important that you juice more vegetables than fruit, and specifically the sugar and the insulin. But we'll talk about food addictions, and the benefits of juicing a little later on. And again, when you hear us say the word juice, we don't need you to stand up and run around or something like that. We do need you though to realize it is fresh, pressed or extracted, mostly vegetable juice. Okay? So again, 80+% is veggies. Just so we're clear on what we're talking about. Okay, now.
So just to give you a brief idea of what blending is liquefying whole fruits and vegetables by chopping them up very finely with blades, spinning at a very high speed. Most of us have a blender or a magic bullet like we have. So you know what I'm talking about, but the result is a mushy puree-like drink, which is called a smoothie. And during blending, the air gets trapped in the drink, making it fluffy. And the air together with the pulp may cause gas or bloating in some people.
It's not uncommon. And you know what? Actually, a lot of people who have Starbucks smoothies have experienced that. And useful for liquefying low water content. The fruits that aren't so great for juicing, for example, like banana, avocados, papayas, and even leafy vegetables. A lot of people put like kale in their smoothies. But let's talk about.
But we're here for juicing, not blending. We just wanted you to know what the difference was. So, juicing is it extracts the juices by separating the juice from the fiber or the pulp, and the result is you get pure, smooth juice. The pulp is separated.
And also, it extracts the juice from the veggies, right? So there's the separation going on because juicing is about hydration. When you drink juices that supply your body with a high amount of liquid that's rich in vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, enzymes, you name it, antioxidants, it makes our cells happy. It's an amazing experience, actually.
So it's important to know that no energy is needed to digest pure juice. Mm-hmm. The energy is conserved in the body for cleansing work, and this is obviously especially useful when you're doing a juice cleanse specifically.
Mm-hmm. And again, there's no fiber, so you drink the juices and there's very little effort by the body to immediately assimilate the vitamins and minerals, and this is really how we get 99% of absorption rate, right? That's really, really powerful.
Mm-hmm. So juicing is not about the fiber, it's about healing. Mm-hmm. The primary reason we juice is to get the optimum nutrition into our cells directly and quickly. Mm-hmm.
So, and again, remember 80-20. We want to also go into a little bit about the history of juicing, because I know we went into a lot of detail here explaining it, but it's really important to have a good foundation of the differences, and also to understand juicing is not new and trendy or a commercialized fad or anything like
Even
that.
if you've just heard about it recently.
Yeah. You know what? The honest truth is there are 2 documentaries I think that you may or may not have heard. One is Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, which is the Australian chap, Joe Cross, who really was fat, sick, and nearly dead, and made a really inspiring documentary.
And the other one was Super Juice Me, which was put out by Jason Vale, and which that's another great one to watch as well.
And both of these guys are, they're passionate, and they have, a big following by now, because when you're passionate about something, then that just goes a long way. So what is juicing history, really?
Well, it wasn't until the first quarter of the 20th century that juicing started to become popular as a tool for improving health. This came about largely because of 2 different things. First of all, the growing popularity of the naturopathic and natural hygiene movements. Both of these were seeing results with fresh vegetable juicing.
Yeah, that was in the early 20th century, right? So even osteopathy was big back then, right?
And also the invention of 2 different technologies, refrigeration, clearly huge, and juice extractors.
Yeah. So, and one man who his invention almost single-handedly changed the course of juicing forever, and that's Dr. Norman Walker. And Walker's really a fascinating guy. I mean, really, he was a health practitioner and innovative thinker and inventor. And his exact age, funnily enough, is not known, but it is rumored that he was about 110 years old when he died in 1984. So not that long ago, but he was really living it up. In the 1930s, he invented his famous Norwalk juicer.
And to this day, the Norwalk juicer remains like the holy grail of all juicers.
Except this holy grail you can buy for about $2,000. So, yeah.
So the next big innovation came in 1955 with the Champion juicer. And the Champion was the first to pioneer the idea of forcing the pulp through a screen during the grading process.
And you know what? That really made the juicers small enough so that they could enter, our homes. And ever since then, the juice extraction business exploded, really. Fast forward to 2014, and while there are hundreds of different makes and models, it's still, other than the single-use juicers, like your citrus juicer for, lemons and oranges or grapefruits, or the wheatgrass juicer, there is only really 3 types. There's only 3 types of juicers available on the market. And the first one, I'll say that because it's a little hard.
It's a little hard for me.
It's a centrifugal or extracting juicer. Yeah.
Then the next type is the masticating or the slow juicers.
And then we have the twin gear, which is also a type of masticating, but again, it's quite substantially different. But the last two are slow juicers. And so
which one is the best? And we have said it over and over again.
Yeah.
The key, the one that's the best is the one that you actually use on a regular basis. And beyond that, there is no one best juicer out there yet.
No, and we'll quickly summarize each type and highlight the strengths of and the limitations of each one of them, because they each do different things better or not so well. So
when you are looking at buying a juicer, there's several things to take into consideration. First of all, what will you be juicing? Will the juicer be able to juice what you want?
Is it going to be easy to use?
Yeah.
And is it going to be easy to clean? And
That's
I can
a
tell
huge one.
that is bigger than many other criteria we're going to talk to you about, because
And that's what we hear from most people about even what keeps them from using their juicer is that it was too difficult to clean.
Yeah. So and also, will the juicer be effective for what you need, and you know, like parts or motors, you know, how easy or hard is it to get replacements, and really how much do you want to spend? I mean, like we said, the Holy Grail can be yours for about $2,500.
But there are cheaper models out there.
Yes, there's a lot cheaper models out there.
So the first one, Dieter, say it for me, please.
Centrifugal juicer.
Thank you. I have a really hard time with that word. So these are high-speed juicers that work with centrifugal force to extract the juice. Okay, so think of your washer spin cycle, and this is how these guys work.
Yeah, so they're perfect actually when you're on a budget, you have little time, and you want to make juice every day, right?
And the Breville is the most popular brand. This is what we have. This is what we completed our Juicing to Bliss in 40-day challenge using. And we can't speak highly enough about it because we have put it through the test several times a day for 40 days and beyond now. So
yeah, really.
And it's doing really well. So.
Okay, so the strengths, Rebecca already mentioned it. Fast and easy to use, quick to clean. By now it takes me under 4 minutes to clean that thing after we're done juicing.
It wasn't as quick at the start, but we've gotten it down to a science.
Yeah,
so.
we practiced. And also the higher end centrifugal juicers, they take the whole produce, which is awesome because then you don't actually have to pre-slice it, and that saves time as well, right?
And they can juice pretty much almost anything, and they are one of the ones that are in the lower price range.
And you will have to deal with some limitations. So a downside is that the heat and the air that's generated, it will reduce the time that you can leave your juice before drinking.
Which means that the juice should be consumed as soon as possible after you've juiced it, and you can't store it longer than 12 hours in your fridge. There will not be nutrients left.
Yeah.
So.
And you'll also taste the difference, really. Quite frankly, you'll taste the difference. And what a lot of people, are saying, centrifugal juicers, they're not good. Well, they use more produce because they're not as effective at, extracting like a masticating juicer, for example. And so they're not as good for leafy greens. And you know what? In the mornings, everybody definitely knows when you make your juice because this thing just goes like a foghorn.
Yeah, the motor needs to run at a high speed, so you know what? It's quite loud in the morning, which can be good if you want to get people up. But
yeah, definitely at our house, everybody knew when we were making juice.
And it does not juice wheatgrass. So if you are into wheatgrass, this is not the one.
No,
that will
not the
do
one to get. So let's go on to
So now we'll move on to the masticating juicer. These use a single gear which chews up the fibers and breaks up the cells of produce in a spiral rotating motion.
Yeah. So basically, really, this is really great quality. It can store the difference between a centrifugal. It can store juice up to 48 hours with minimal loss of the nutritional benefit. And, it comes, I think most of them actually come with really handy attachments, so you can make nut butters, you can make smoothies, You can also I think make pasta with some of them. And I'm hearing my phone go off there, so probably some of you are already emailing, texting us questions, which is awesome. So please, if you have any questions, maybe about which juicer to get or something like that, take the time, put them in chat so we know what you're thinking. Zachary will deliver them to our tablet here, and we'll check them out a little later in the show.
So this juicer is a quiet juicer. So, you won't be waking everybody up in the house. Yeah, and all of them juice wheatgrass, except for the champion. But.
Yeah. But they are more expensive, right? There's quite a bit more of technology involved here. It takes more time. Definitely, it's a slower process. And it also takes a little bit more preparation because the shoots are generally a little narrower. So you have to pre-cut your veggies to get the best benefit out of it. Now, there's another cool word, triturating.
Yeah, I'm going to let him say that.
Yeah. That's the twin gear. That's the last model. And these are truly the most efficient juicers available. And I can speak from experience. I owned one of them for years. But it is the best quality, but don't buy this juicer if time is an issue or as a consideration for you. Yeah.
However, though, if you are dealing with a health challenge, such as cancer or some other disease that you would really like help with, and it is important, even more so important for you to drink the highest quality juice, then this is the juicer for you.
Yeah, but if it's an everyday kind of juicing lifestyle, then you might want to start, with an extractor and maybe, down the road upgrade. Again, so best juice by far.
Yeah.
Best juice.
The strengths, best juice, as Dieter said. You can store your juice for up to 48 hours without a lot of loss of nutritional benefits. You can create cool things like nut butters, pasta, other types of things using this. It's quiet. It's got a really good quality to it.
Yeah, this thing will last forever. Really.
And it will do wheatgrass as well, which I would like to try and get into.
Yeah. And you know what? All this quality comes at a price. So this is really an investment into your health. And again, it can be slow and time consuming. And personally, I found that it didn't choose pineapple very well. I happen to like pineapple, so a bit of a, it's all considerations that go into it.
So that's just a really quick overview. It's our most concise, unbiased review and comparison that we can give you. We will continue to put more information up. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. On our Facebook page.
So,
excuse me.
I'm also gonna say that if you want to stay tuned, subscribe to our YouTube channel, because I know Zachary might be able to put up a little lower third there every once in a while, just so you stay informed, get updated, and of course we have our podcast as well. So please connect with us. Let us know which juicer, for example. Let us know which juicer you have. Why don't you, if you have one, go to the chat and put in your make and model and tell us what you like about it, or tell us what you don't like about it. And
it's important to get rid of any of your excuse me, doubts, objections, anything that you can before you get juicing, because these can easily become excuses as to why you can't juice, or can keep you easily from doing what you need to do. So.
Yeah. So one of the things that we also will talk about, I know we'll talk about it. You know what? First, why don't you share our experience with our juicer? Like, for example, like we made juice this morning, and I will get you some water, and I'll be right back.
So we love our juicer, the Reble. It has different speeds to it. So the higher speed, anywhere up to a 5, will juice harder fruits and vegetables, so apples, carrots, and it does a really good job of extracting the best at that speed. We move it to a lower speed for softer fruits and vegetables. One of my favorites is tomatoes. I also love the citrus. I love to add the citrus to the juice. So we use that at a lower speed. It's really easy to clean, and it also goes in the dishwasher, which I love, and I'm sure many people can relate to that as well. So we have found that we've been very happy with our Brayville, and I can't say enough good things about it. And thank you, Dieter, for getting the water for me, because I'm losing my voice.
Mm-hmm. So why do we juice, right? Juicing is the most nutrient-dense way to alkalize our body and to really infuse our cells with high doses of, and that's the key, live enzymes, amino acids, minerals, phytonutrients, and vitamins. And the vegetables, they really contain so much goodness if you can, take it in raw. And this comes from a guy who grew up in a country and in a family where we ate vegetables only, in a way, manner of speaking, when they first went through a pig or a cow. So I've really grown up on meat.
I've been to Austria. There's not a lot of vegetables there.
Meat and potatoes. And potatoes technically is not a vegetable. It's starch, right? Whereas vegetables contain an array of antioxidants and other disease-fighting compounds that are very difficult to get anywhere else, and especially those phytochemicals can reduce inflammation and also eliminate carcinogens, and that's really important.
It's important to us because we have a lot of cancer in both of our families.
Yeah, so we didn't want to end up eventually having it. We wanted to be proactive, and take a bold step forward, learn about something that we, in the beginning had not much knowledge about, and really recognize that there are better ways to prevent or reverse things like heart disease or diabetes, than what we're really led to believe for the most part.
So in juice, well, scientists have identified that there are over 5,000 different enzymes that our bodies use, and these live enzymes are the catalyst for just about every human function.
Yeah, it's amazing. They help repair our DNA, digest food, help assimilate the nutrients, and they die, though, those enzymes, when we boil our spinach, when we boil our vegetables. So that's why juicing is the best way to get it. And really, if you juice more and eat most of our veggies raw, we'll also be receiving biophotons. And I have to throw this in. Biophotons are the smallest physical units of light that are stored in and used in all biological organisms, including our body.
So if biophotons are not your thing, they're fascinating, but maybe a little beyond the horizon of most people.
I think they're fascinating.
What is not, however, are that studies that have repeatedly concluded that people with higher raw vegetable intake have lower risks of stroke, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's disease, and heart disease.
And also lower risk of certain types of cancer, eye disease, digestive problems. I mean, you name it. It's really amazing.
And we can all relate to that because we all know somebody or have been affected by those.
Yeah.
So.
And for example, did you know that there's a nutrient density index which rates the vegetables and fruits by their nutrient density? So how many different nutrients are into vegetables or in fruits? And 41 of them are on this list, and it's really amazing because they include things like fiber, potassium, protein, calcium, folate, vitamin B12, vitamin A. What else, Rebecca? Help me out here.
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. And so here's a technical scientific term. They are classified as powerhouses. Okay.
So what's a powerhouse, you might wonder? A powerhouse fruit or vegetable is a fruit or vegetable that's packed with enough nutrients that are beneficial in preventing chronic disease.
Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of them. Obviously, the list I said is 41, but the top 25 of them, they have one thing in common. They're all vegetables. Okay? So also 11 of the top 25 veggies are from something called the cruciferous family. Rebecca, what's in the cruciferous family?
Well, the cruciferous vegetables are some of my favorites, actually. They're not known as everybody's favorites, but they are mine. So this includes broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, which I'm not so crazy on. So the compounds that are found in these cruciferous vegetables, they take aim at meat-formed carcinogens.
Mm-hmm.
And studies show that meat is one of the major causes of colon cancer.
Yeah, and also the research also shows that people who eat just about 4 half cups, so that's really nothing, of cruciferous vegetables, if they eat them weekly, it may reduce their risk of colon cancer, get this, by 20 to 50%. I mean, that's pretty.
Those are huge
those
numbers.
Are big numbers. We're not talking like 2-3% here.
And just in, case, if you hear that little whiny voice in your head that says, "But I don't like green juice," you're not alone. There's a lot of people that have a hard time adjusting to green juice, especially in the start. A recent study that was
that's actually hilarious study.
Jamba Juice did reveal that 28% of U.S. adults fear just the look of green juice.
Oh, green juice.
And 32% said green juice is their least favorite type of juice.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny that negative kind of rap even held true, despite that those 32% also said that they believe that green juice is the healthiest option. So yeah, it might be taking some getting used to, but green juice is actually, and we've really found that out during our 40 days, actually has a pleasant flavor. Did I say that right? It has a pleasant flavor. So obviously we got to slow ourselves down sometimes. But really, I am passionate about this stuff because when I juice our broccoli, like this morning, we had this massive head of a broccoli that we got locally, and you couldn't eat this thing in 2 sittings, but you can juice it and drink it in on a beautiful breakfast. So.
So if you have a little bit of a hard time with green juice to start, tweak it to fit your taste. Start with more mild tasting veggies and then work your way up to the green juices.
Yeah. And really, there is a lot of goodness in there. But that question that I kind of raised earlier, how many vegetables do we really need? Well, we're going to get to that because really it's hard to eat 10 servings and 10 servings.
I'll tell you, Dieter has been fascinated by this. So it's a bit funny around our house, but he has been fascinated by this. Me, not so much. I knew we weren't getting the recommended daily amount.
10 servings of fruits and vegetables per the average adult is what Canadian health officials actually recommend.
Yeah, and Statistic Canada's own report suggests that only 50% of Canadians age 12 and older eat fruits and vegetables even 5 times a day. So, you know what? Yeah. Not surprising to me. For some reason, Dieter thought this was the most amazing statistic he had ever heard.
This blows me out of the water because even on the Statistics Canada website, they say, well, 5 times a day doesn't equal 5 servings, and that's only half of what they recommend. So, and then we started looking at our kids, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's crazy, right?
By the way, you don't count potatoes, which would be considered a starch rather than a vegetable.
And our American friends, and we have many, and I hope some of you are on the Livecast right now, on average get 2 or 3 servings of fruits and vegetables. So that's even less. Again, it's just it's just what we have, kind of like this perception in our minds, and we talked about mindset. Right.
So if we have already convinced you to get juicing, just a little bit, with all of that, you can go to our website, which is juicingtobliss.com, and we have a free, fully guided 4-day fast there to get you started. Yeah. So go ahead and check that out. We are going to start talking about what some of the common juicing mistakes are. We've made some of them. So
yeah, we definitely. And you know what? The truth is, you may already be juicing, right? So you have a juicer, or you used to have a juicer. We explained the difference between blending and juicing. We've already given a lot of info. But what if you already own a juicer? Like we said, it's a little bit. If you want to do it right, there's certainly things for you to look out, and we learn a lot of them, right? Because it is one of the best ways that we flood our body with healthy vitamins and minerals.
So we are going to be sharing with you our best juicing tips. But before that, we want to address some of the common mistakes that people make.
Let's look at that.
And like I said, we made some of those ourselves. And it's these things that often gives juicing a bad rap with people, with the press. So let's get right to it. The first one.
So this is my favorite mistake. First, make mistakes. What is it, Rebecca?
Not juicing at all.
That is the first and biggest mistake, and we don't have to say anything more.
Second mistake, too many sweet fruits and vegetables. So now, if you've been tuned into our livecast, you already know how juicing is an awesome way to get nutrients into our bodies, as they are absorbed straight into our bloodstream, because it's a direct shot of vitamins, minerals, and enzymes. But one of the most common mistakes, however, is adding too much fruit into our fresh juices.
Yeah, and it's not that fruits are bad or anything like that. It's just they really expose our bodies to a large amount of sugar in the form of fructose. And two doctors that are really kind of like on a cruciferous crusade, if you want to call it that, is Dr. Mercola and Dr. Hyman, and they really educate the public about the mounting evidence that sugar is the primary factor causing not only obesity but also chronic degenerative diseases, diabetes, heart disease, stroke, all these things. And sugar is really, especially if you listen to this guy, Dr. Lustig, or for any German people, Lustig. He's a professor of pediatrics at the University of California in San Francisco. And we actually posted today, I posted it today earlier on our Facebook. It's a 90-minute lecture. And if you think 90 minutes, I don't have time for that. Well, 50,000 people a month are watching this. And it just it'll blow you away, because he basically says sugar is toxic to us, right? And it's a poison, and it's really compelling.
And really, people are waking up to the fact that we are addicted to this stuff. It's in everything. It is in everything, and that people are starting to see that this addiction is what's killing us.
And being fully honest with you, it's that withdrawal from the sugar the first couple days that makes the juice cleansing really, more challenging. Right? But on the other hand, on the upside, the juice cleanse can really help you with getting a handle on your sugar addiction and how we're, the refined carbs and that kind of stuff. So.
And we can speak to this from our own experience, because actually having been through the juice fast, our tastes have completely changed. I mean, I used to walk through the kitchen and grab a cookie, just probably almost about every time I walked through, or reach for some chocolate or just something. And I don't have those same cravings anymore. I get excited to eat vegetables. I know that sounds weird, but that's what my body craves now.
And I think that's a really fair thing that you bring up, because we've actually gone through that entire process of 40 days of cleansing our body. it's really amazing what happens after about 4 days already. And then there's day 10, 11, and it's amazing how, well, your mind, our minds still screwed us over quite a bit here and there. But just
the physical cravings
the
for
physical
sugar
cravings.
and fat and that, they go away. They really do.
Yeah.
On to our third mistake. Your juice is lacking the color green. You already heard us go on before about green vegetables. But the key to making healthy vegetable juices is to make green vegetables the bulk of every serving that you have, because they are packed with awesome nutrients. And true to the nature of green vegetables, they produce chlorophyll, which when you consume it, helps oxygenate your body.
And that's big, because that helps to detox and cleanse your body and improve your circulation of your blood as a result of it. And you get a natural boost of energy. I don't know about you. Again, growing up in Austria, Reble, is actually, the invention comes from Thailand, but it was an Austrian guy who really made something out of it. And I grew up on that stuff. And I can tell you, honestly, drinking these juices that we do, they are like energy boosters.
It's like instant energy. You can feel it right away after you drink it.
It doesn't get digested, right? So your body absorbs it straight. It's really amazing.
So another awesome thing about green vegetables is that they won't spike your blood sugar and insulin levels like the fruits and some of the sweet vegetables like carrots and beets.
So at this point, remember those powerhouse veggies that we mentioned, and the cruciferous ones in particular. So the fourth mistake, that's actually a big one too, because I think sometimes we kind of become complacent, right? And the fourth mistake is not washing our fruits and veggies thoroughly enough, and that really shouldn't be. We shouldn't take that for granted. We actually did Rebecca did a really awesome video about it, how to do it properly. Do you want to talk about that, or?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not buying organic and it's not available to everybody or in their budget to do so, especially in such large volume that you need for juicing, it's important to clean your vegetables well, and you can buy the commercially prepared products that you can find in the store, or we put up a great video on our YouTube about how you can do it with just vinegar and water too.
And the reason that's important, because especially the non-organic produce is treated with pesticides and preservatives. And for example, that waxy feeling you get when you buy apples, well, that's actually petroleum based. So maybe not so good for us if we just eat it.
And water alone usually isn't enough to remove these pesticides, because they can get deeply into the skin of the produce. So, like I said,
do you want to give it away at least, like what we used, like how, just for people that they don't have?
Oh, it was 1 part vinegar to 2 parts water. Put it in your sink. Don't, fill up the sink. Don't let it sit there any more than 5 minutes, so it doesn't start to take the nutrients out of the vegetables. And then just go ahead and rinse them off and juice away.
So again, you can watch on our YouTube channel. I think Zachary's putting up every once in a while the lower thirds for that.
Be nice. Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, give us the thumbs up. I mean, really subscribe to our channel, because that way every time, and we will continue to post videos, because we've gotten a lot of questions. I mean, imagine going somewhere, like on a business trip like Rebecca did, and informing people that you're on a 40-day juice fast. So you get a lot of questions.
A lot of strange looks and a lot of questions.
Of strange looks too. So, but you know what, if you don't have the hassle of preparing your own veggie wash solution, you could always opt for, buying the commercially available products. Yep. The other thing, either way, Rebecca already said it, you have to agitate them, rinse it, remove all the dirt. I know with some of the stuff we get, it's so fresh, and sometimes if you don't do it right, you taste the dirt too.
So the fifth mistake is thinking that fresh and bottled juices are the same.
Huge one.
Because they're not.
Huge one.
We have to mention this because it's going to come up sooner or later.
Yeah, and it has.
somebody always says, well, can I use the juice that I find in the grocery store? You know, for convenience, I understand. But like, if you have the idea that the Tropicana juice that you kids have for breakfast is actually healthy, well, healthy compared to what? Maybe McDonald's or something. I'm not sure. But
so really, the bottled juices, they may come from, you know, the same source, veggies or fruits, but a lot of it happens, right? A lot of stuff happens to the juices by the time they come to the shelves in the store, and usually it has been pasteurized, so that means heat treated, right? Which we already talked about. As soon as you heat it over 118 Fahrenheit, you lose all the enzymes. So all of a sudden, the juice is, for all intents and purposes, dead.
Yeah, it gets rid of all that good stuff we were just talking about so much earlier.
And that whole processing denatures the juice. And that's also reducing not just the enzymes, but also the vitamins and minerals as well. So, and then the preservatives, colors, artificial and refined sugars. You know,
it all comes back to that sugar addiction we were talking about earlier.
That's really the big one, making it palatable for our sugar addiction. And to give you an example, just because, you know, our kids love the Tropicana juice as well, the Trop 50, you know, beef 100% fabulous with 50% less calories, right, and less sugar. It says it has no artificial sweeteners, and no lie, it doesn't. But what it doesn't say is that it's actually sweetened, okay, with pure via, which is an extract of the stevia plant. And it's, you know, it's not lying. It's not artificial sweetener, so compared to what you can buy, that's great.
But it is sweetened with something that's actually not found in orange juice.
Do you really need to sweeten an orange? I mean, come on. To make it really clear, we don't have anything about Tropicana or anything like that. We're just raising that point that has become really painfully obvious and clear to us, that you want to be informed of what's healthy versus what healthy is on a label. For example, I mean, just to give you an idea, 250 mils of the regular Tropicana Tropics fruit juice, 28 grams, okay, 28 grams of sugar.
That's more than 100% of what the World Health Organization recommends per day for an adult.
Yeah, for an adult.
In your one glass of orange juice.
One glass. Okay.
Never mind a kid. So,
so the Trop 50, fair enough, only has 10 grams of sugar. You know, if you have 2.5 glasses, that's your entire sugar for the day, technically, right? According to the World Health Organization and the American Heart Association. So it's not just us saying that. It is what we said before. Sugar is an addiction. It's in everything. So, but that's a good start, and having an idea of what could go wrong, I think, is always prudent. And one of the reasons we're so excited to share with you is to be inspired and to also be brave, you know, because you put yourself outside your comfort zone, and we've talked about that a lot. But now on to, you know, some of our best tips that we have for juicing. Because you might think things are, you know, common sense, but my Welsh kite skiing instructor, he said, well, common sense isn't so bloody common anymore, and that's really true. So what's the first one? The first tip is actually super simple.
The first one is fresh green juice tastes better.
Surprise!
If you are new to this kind of juicing, building up your palate is the key. Start with your favorite veggies at first. Stick to the base recipes to begin with.
And also what I would say is that you can also slowly experiment with new stuff over time. And you reduce the fruits and focus then mainly on the expanding variety of veggies and stuff. So, and again, we'll just bring that. You can go over to www.juicingtobliss.com, and just by putting your name and your email in, we'll immediately deliver to your inbox 4 of our best, most nutritious recipes. that you get for free with the Juicing to Bliss
And we've
challenge.
gotten good reviews. Well, there are favorites, but we've gotten good reviews from others on these
And you know what? We're going to
well.
ask our guest Donna how she liked the juices too.
And we will also continue to post recipes. And our friend Rika Susan has an excellent recipe picker with over 90 recipes. So she's generously allowed us to
use that. And you can actually. We'll post the link to Rika's site in the description. We don't have it here right now, but we will post it in the description of the video. So, yeah.
So number 2, I love this one. Include your children in juicing. You want them, to pick up their healthy,
eating habits and just also, learning, healthy habits for preparing food. And
if you're a parent, you know that your kids don't necessarily learn so much from what you tell them, but from what you do. So, juicing, getting them to take part in it as well is key for setting them up long term to have healthy eating habits.
And if you're just starting, you might run into a lot of resistance. Like in the beginning, there was resistance, but there was also excitement too. Like, watch our juicing the shots video that we made.
Yeah, we're still working on juice shots with them, not glasses,
shots,
juice shots.
But you got to start, somewhere, right? So.
Number 3, some fruits are better left for smoothies. So, as a general rule, the higher the water content of fruits and vegetables, the better they will perform in your juicer. So keep the cantaloupes, papaya, and bananas for smoothies. We found that some of the best vegetables for water content, celery is a staple. It pretty much goes in everything. What else?
Well, fresh broccoli is also.
Cucumbers.
Cucumbers are really good for that.
Yeah, peppers even.
Peppers are really good. Yeah.
So,
tomatoes. So also the next tip is, again, coming back to this taste for some veggies. You might find that you don't like eating some veggies, but try juicing them anyways. We have found that, as a juice, we like radishes better than eating radishes, for example.
I still have a little bit of a hard time with radishes, but juicing them is much better.
Imagine eating 10 radishes like we had.
No, I wouldn't eat 10 radishes.
But we had them, this morning in our juice, and it's just fine. So,
so adding small amounts of these for the kids to their favorite juices.
That's a good start. You got to start wherever you are and work your way up. The biggest mistake, not juicing at all. So that's all I'm going to say.
So on to tip number 5. You know what? Start now.
Yeah, just do it.
We said our biggest mistake was, why hadn't we done this already? So you don't have to wait to get the benefits of juicing until you can afford to buy organic. We've already addressed that. So this is so important that we'll address it in other sections as well. But the bottom line is this. Juicing fresh vegetables and fruit is better than not juicing at all.
Yeah. Absolutely. Number 6, make sure that the juice that you drink is as fresh as possible. And again, I know sometimes it sounds like we're like broken records or CDs with scratches, but the fact is we didn't grow up with that, right?
Nope.
And if you grew up with juice that you buy from the store, it can be in the fridge for a week, right? It doesn't matter, but those live enzymes is where all the power comes from, and we only get that from the fresh juiced fruits and veggies. So
it can help if you add lemons to your juice because it acts as a bit of a preservative within them. You want to keep your juices in sealed glass containers. Get them in the fridge right away to prevent the further breakdown of nutrients.
I think store them in a cold and dark place, like a fridge, but also make sure that a freezer tote, for example, like you did when you went on your business trip, right? So not just cold, but also keep it away from light, basically. Right?
And you have to work with what you can. So on the days when you don't have the time to juice multiple times per day, and you need to make it in the morning and keep it in the fridge, then we kept ours no longer than 12 hours, I think. But other days when we could, we were home, weekends, had the time, we would juice as often as we could throughout the day and drink it as much right away.
And I'm sure there's people that say, oh, but you're using these juice extractors, you kill so many, of those phytonutrients. Yeah, it may, but at least we are juicing, first of all. And second of all, cleaning less than 4 minutes, that's not a big thing. Right? I mean, you get better with practice. Right? Number 7, that's a big one. The juices and medicine don't mix, right?
So don't take your meds with fruit or vegetable juice.
Yeah, it can seriously affect the absorption rate of your medication. So be careful about that.
But you would also be smart and talk to your doctor ahead of time so that you would know all this.
Yeah, and then also the pulp, because especially the centrifugal juicers, they generate a lot of pulp, right? So, but stews would work best for pulp, for example.
Yep.
And you can put them in quiches.
Smoothies.
Yeah, smoothies too.
You can bake breads, zucchini breads.
Definitely stay tuned for that, because Rebecca and I, while we're doing it for 40 days, we're like, oh my God, there's like so much pulp. And we started to get really good ideas, and we researched it. So
now we are exploring all the things that we can do.
We will post videos to that extent too, because it's going to be also yummy. Like, I'm not somebody who would eat something just because.
And if you can't use it all, it can also be a good compost for good soil.
Oh yeah, that too. So number 9 is really important as well, because we want to hit the whole palate, right? We want to have something sweet. We want to have something tart. We want to have something that yields a lot of juice, right? And then we want to have something earthy.
Beets are good for earthy.
Yeah, and then something spicy.
Yeah. We included a lot of turmeric root, ginger. Ginger adds a nice spice. Yeah. We like basil, mint.
Mint, one of our favorites, putting mint in the juice.
So get creative with it. Find, what your tastes are and what works for you.
So, sweet, for example, we don't really have to talk about apples, pears, grapefruits, melons. Tart would be, what would that be, Rebecca?
Well, lemons and limes. Grapefruits, I love grapefruits.
You already said beets and carrots for roots.
Yeah.
Greens, well, obvious, kale, spinach, lettuce, arugula. Arugula is really good. It has a lot of taste to it.
Herbs, like you said, the addition of herbs is awesome. Basil.
Cilantro too.
Cilantro, mint, we love. Parsley, we did a lot of parsley because the health benefits of parsley are huge. So we added bunches and bunches of parsley to ours. So.
Absolutely. And high yield, Rebecca already mentioned cucumber, celery. But you know what? Also fennel. Fennel bulbs, they are really tasty. I couldn't imagine, honestly, fennel. I wouldn't eat it, but in a juice, it's
got that black licorice taste.
Yeah, it's really good. And spicy, hot peppers even. You got to use caution, but even
I'm not into hot peppers, but yeah.
I'm into hot peppers. So. But there you have it. Some of our best tips, and we got lots of them. I mean, we're seriously just skimming the surface here.
Yeah.
And again, just head over to juicingtobliss.com. I just, I completely forgot, Rebecca. If you are watching this and you haven't gone over to juicingtobliss.com, open up a new window in your browser, because, well, here's the deal. You could still win a brand new juicer and some Amazon gift cards. I totally forgot about that.
And t-shirt.
And a t-shirt too, yeah. So juicingtobliss.com. Put in your name and email, and you will be automatically entered in our draw, which is super awesome. And by the way, we honor that. We don't have a sponsor or anything, because people ask, oh yeah, who's your sponsor, and who's paying for that?
It's our passion, guys. We're not sponsored.
We're actually crazy enough
to buy you a juicer.
Honestly, because we believe in this stuff. We actually forget belief. We know it works.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 days really is a significant amount of time to show you what works and what doesn't. So for now, you still got time. Okay.
And another great way to stay connected is by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our podcast on iTunes as well. So I think Zach is going to put in the links for us, and they'll also be in the description
and
as well.
also just to, because we don't have it here on the screen, we can just see ourselves. We can't really see anything else. Has our first guest already arrived? Are we ready for, yeah? Then I think, why wait? Let's talk to Danna Yahav. Danna is she's a health expert, and we're happy and lucky to have her on our show today.
We are, and she actually took part in our 4-day challenge, which I haven't heard so much about yet, but I'm excited to hear from her, really excited.
So, and Danna also helps, especially women and families who want to create a healthier lifestyle, right? And don't know where to start, and she's really knowledgeable and has, actually, again, we're beating it to death, but if you head over to juicingtobliss.com, you can actually get a free 3-day meal plan that Danna
has so graciously provided for us. We also did an interview with Danna a little bit back, and that will be coming out soon, so watch for that to be posted
come out
as well.
This coming week sometime, so stay tuned for that.
So enough of us talking about you, Danna. Please talk, tell us.
Hi guys, how are you? Can you hear me?
Can you hear Danna?
Yes, I can.
Okay, can we maybe for now put it out loud? Danna, are you here?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can now, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me. I've been really enjoying all the great information you guys have been sharing. It is awesome, so informative for everyone.
Oh, it's such an honor to have you, Danna. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, please go ahead. Maybe introduce. We try to introduce you as best as we can, but maybe just for our audience, for anybody who doesn't know you yet, just give us a brief, 30-second intro to what you do, who you are, and how you rock.
All right, so my name is Danna, and I am a holistic health and wellness coach. So what that means is that I take a holistic approach to helping people live their best lives, live healthy, if they have an ailment, sort of figure out what we can incorporate into their life to make them feel better and how they can enjoy life more, particularly with whole foods, juicing, of course, and just lifestyle factors that are going to support them in their journey. Different exercises, working out, or career, or different things that really bring them joy. So that's what I have the pleasure of doing every day with many clients. And like Dieter said, I work closely with women and families and help them find the right balance in their life.
That's so important, because I know we have in our 40 days we've come across a lot of people who are at that stage where they kind of either put on some weight, they kind of feel their health deteriorating a little bit, maybe in their 30s and 40s, and but they don't know where to turn, and so a service that you offer, for example, is so key for that.
And support is so important for people as well, I think. A lot of people feel that they don't have the support in reaching their goals, and I guess that would be where you would come in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you are 100% right. What I feel and what I see with my clients is that they just don't get the support that they need, whether it's at home or in their jobs, just in their life. They just don't have that person that's going to motivate them, that person that's going to tell them, this is what you should really be eating if you really want to feel good every single day. I mean, most people don't even realize how good they can feel if they just reduce the processed foods in their diet. So just giving them that support, showing them that they can do it, helping them do it, and then watching them succeed it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's very rewarding. I mean, that's...
And we can all account for that 100% from our experience, and you as well, from the people that you work with, from your own experience, and the people that you work with as well, that it does actually work.
Mm-hmm. Danna, could you please, because we didn't have a lot of time since you did the 4-day Juicing to Bliss challenge, but could you talk a little bit about your experience? How was it? What were some of the things that you took away? And maybe also as an expert, what are some of the things that you could share with us and our audience?
Sure. So I was really excited to try your 4-day juice challenge, and I got all of the produce together, and I washed everything, got it ready, and I put it in these green bags that preserve the fruit and the vegetables a little bit longer. And that was definitely really helpful for me in the mornings because I'm a parent. I have 2 little kids under 5, and mornings are hectic. But it was all ready for me, and all I had to do was put it in the juicer. And the biggest problem I had with the juice cleanse is that my kids loved the juices, and they drank most of it. I know, it's the best problem ever. Yeah. I've been trying to get my son, my almost 5-year-old, to drink juice with me every day, and he won't until I tried your recipes, and he loved them.
That is amazing. I love hearing that.
Yes, and as a parent, when you see your kid drinking a green juice, it's like the proudest moment. Yeah, it feels great.
Yeah.
So the recipes are wonderful. They are so good. I've tried a lot of different recipes, and I mean, those are ones that I think I will stick to for a while. They're just great. And the first few days, even as a health coach, sometimes my diet is not as great as I want to be. Sometimes I'm traveling, or sometimes I'm at family parties. Yeah. And we're all human.
Exactly. Yeah, we are.
So I definitely felt some detox symptoms the first few days.
Yeah.
I felt some allergies, some scratching of the throat. But towards day 3, I mean, everything was just gone. I felt so much better. But I will say, and I'll put this out for you guys to answer maybe a little bit later, is that I really think people need to know that they need to prepare their bodies for a juice fast and a juice cleanse. That it doesn't just happen overnight where you go 40 days without any food.
Yes, there was a lot of preparation.
There's a lot of preparation involved, and I agree. We will talk about it, and thank you for bringing that point up, because the truth is, it might be, for someone, it might be a little overwhelming to think, to take out, what we do every day, which is, from morning to evening, is eating. And all of a sudden you don't do that anymore. I mean, that was scary for us as well. And we didn't start with 40 days.
And everybody needs to start from where they are. So where we are versus you or anybody is different. So
that's a great point.
Yeah, on that note, I will say, though, that after I did my cleanse, my mom, who is 56 years young, said I have to try it. But she knew she wasn't going to be ready to do 4 days of just juice. So I actually used your recipes, and what we did was I made her juice every day, and she drank it in the morning, and then she had lightly sauteed or raw fruits and vegetables, and just kept the diet very, very clean, nothing processed, no meat, dairy, the top allergens, meat, dairy, soy, nuts, things like that. And she is obsessed with juicing now. She's had no hot flashes. She says she's never felt better. She sleeps better. She lost some of the bloating in her stomach. Her skin is softer. It's clearer. The whites of the eyes are clearer. I mean, she's just had such great experience. So much so that so many other people are now asking us, what did you do? So you guys are really starting a revolution here.
Well, I think we're all choosing health together, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's... And I love how how you help. I mean, it's what you do, which is why it comes easy for you to help your mom. You know, you can juice and then you eat clean, you know, fresh, whole foods to kind of support that, and you work your way towards, you know, maybe 2 days, 3 days.
Starting with
Yes.
where you are and what
Yeah.
you're able to do. I'll tell you, my mom, I don't know if she's watching or not, but they are also talking about doing the same thing, you know, replacing some meals with juice and then having a clean meal for the rest. So, yeah.
And that's really, and that comes back to the number one mistake, right? The number one mistake is not juicing at all.
Right.
Because I think, isn't it amazing? I mean, I know it's a lot of produce, and people go, you know, it's a lot of money. I can only speak for us. We were lucky enough that we actually found a wholesaler who also sells to the public. I can honestly say that our juicing was not more per person per day, was about $10 to $15.
Yeah.
And,
I would totally agree.
Did you find a similar experience?
Yeah, I mean, we have produce stores all over here. I'm in the Philadelphia area, and I didn't spend that much money. I mean, considering what I would have bought, you know, in bagels or in veggie burgers or in meat or whatever the normal family eats.
Yeah.
I didn't spend that much, and I really was replacing meals with it. And even if you're not doing the 4-day full cleanse, even if you just replace breakfast, you're already saving, you know, $5 that you would have bought your coffee and your bagel and your donut or whatever it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
And having that juice in the morning is one of the best things that you can do for your health. It will change your life around. It really will.
Well, we agree 100%, and that's why we're here sharing with people. So.
Yeah.
So, Danna, thank you so much. You know what? Thank you so much for actually agreeing to come on our livecast as well. It's a privilege to us, and because I know Rebecca and I, we had that privilege to talk with you for an hour, and we will post that interview next week, both on iTunes as well as on YouTube. But I'm just so grateful to hear from, you know, your perspective, you know, somebody who is actually a health professional and teaches people about healthy eating. What kind of a great experience that was for you and for your family, and that's honestly, to me, that's exciting. That's really exciting.
And we will, of course, be including your information of how people can get in touch with you to learn more about what you have to offer and working with you as well. So
it'll be in the description of the YouTube video. We'll have a link to your website. So anybody who wants to get in contact with you and hopefully get some coaching or some training from you, I think that's so invaluable. Is there anything in closing that you want to share, or anything that you'd like to say?
Sure. You know, I just want to say thank you to you guys for what you're doing, because it really is great. And I mean, you've motivated me, which has motivated my mom, which has motivated my sister-in-law. And you know, it just takes one person, and I just want everyone to know that they can be that one person for their family and for their community to motivate others to really take the first step to their health. And if it's all right with you guys, I would love to give away a coaching session to some of your listeners. And you know, that's up to you to choose the winner. But you know, I just really want to join you.
We just got another prize for you. I just want to point this out. So we will have one more winner, and they will receive a free complimentary coaching session.
Yep.
How long will a coaching session be?
It'll be around 50 minutes, and we can do it on the phone. So you obviously do not have to be in the Philadelphia area. Just email me. Dieter and Rebecca will give you the information. And I just want to help everybody, you know, be healthy and really feel good and live a wonderful, wonderful life, because life is short.
We love you, Danna.
I love you guys.
Please. Because you're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are too. What you're doing is wonderful. It really is.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
you.
Thank you, Danna, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too.
We'll keep in touch and talk again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so
Isn't she lovely?
yes,
I love her.
that's really amazing, bro.
Okay, so we have so much information to get through.
Basically, what we want to just quickly touch on is, what Danna had said about fasting, right? Because we have another great guest on very, very shortly, I think. Can we have a quick time check here? Yeah, so in about 15 minutes or so, we'll have Mark Kearns on. So we want to just quickly talk about fasting, right? Because Danna brought up a good point. It may not be right away for everyone, right? But everyone can start from where they're at. Correct?
You may not want to jump into 40 days like us, and I would not be blaming you. But
No. But we would encourage you to start with wherever you are, and that could be one day, right? Because basically...
Or replacing a few meals a day and having a healthy meal for dinner, or starting from where you are. I think that's so key. So
I think so too. So what is fasting? Well, basically it is giving our body rest.
Yep.
Right? In
our digestive system, let's say more. Our digestive system, giving it a rest.
Because biologically speaking, the interplay of the insulin, right? We already talked about that, which pushes the glucose, the sugar, into the cells, right? So that's kind of like that push that gives the cells that power. Then that you have the leptin, which is that regulator, which gets so thrown off by our food addictions, addiction to sugar, addiction to wheat, addiction to fat. That leptin is that hormone that actually is that says, no more, I'm full, right? It's good. But that gets kind of like all screwed up with our food addictions. And ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, most of us, have probably heard about that, goes together with that depletion in our bodies. And if that builds up over time with our, bad habits, all of a sudden, of course we want to open that bag of Doritos.
So in the very simplest terms, fasting is a rest from food. And when we rest from food, we give our body the opportunity to assist the liver, the lungs, the colon, the kidneys, the skin, all of these systems to eliminate toxins and waste material from the body, to balance the blood chemistry and the pH levels within the body, and the opportunity for cellular and functional rejuvenation, and to heal food addictions, which we have talked about. So.
Yeah, that's a big one. It also really is an increase in energy that you get by decreasing the toxic load on our bodies, right, in our system. Naturally, there is more free energy available.
And the amount of energy that goes into digestion is huge.
We've only been back on food for, 7 days now, 8 days?
A little bit, yeah.
It is huge. And we only put in, lightly steamed veggies, maybe some brown rice, and,
Pretty easy stuff.
Pretty easy stuff, but we notice how much energy it takes to make energy.
So, with all this increased energy, you can have a greater mental clarity, which we will attest to. That was awesome.
And creativity too.
Yeah, you can cleanse and heal negative emotions.
Yeah.
It's kind of the emotional side of cleansing. There is a inner calm and strength that comes out when you're cleansing. We love that as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of other benefits as well, but I want to highlight what a couple experts have to say about fasting and juice fasting, because, this is really cool stuff. And I want to talk with somebody who actually described himself as a fasting therapist. And you know when that was? That was in 1893. That was more than 120 years ago.
So no, it's not a brand new thing.
It's not a brand new thing. It's not a fad. And this guy's name was Otto Buchinger Sr., who's a medical doctor. And get this, he lived from 1876 to 1966. So he lived to a ripe old age of 90 years. And that's pretty impressive, because if you consider that was at a time where pretty much 1 out of 3 kids didn't make it past the first year, so 1 out of 3 kids didn't make it past infancy, basically. Fewer than 50 lived into adulthood.
50%, that is.
Yeah, fewer than 50%. Sorry, I get excited by that because somebody actually lived to 90 years of age when the average life expectancy of a person that actually made it into their adulthood was 55 max. Okay, so this guy trumped the average by almost double. And Otto, yeah, talk about what
he
did.
is the founder of the, say it, Dieter, because you're
The
German, not me.
Yeah, it's the Buchinger Clinics.
In which he personally conducted more than 100,000 juice fasting cures, as he called them.
Cures.
And he was quoted as saying that juice fasting is, without any doubt, the most effective biological treatment method of treatment. Mm-hmm. It is the operation without surgery.
Yeah, it's a cure really involving what he called exudation. You know, obviously he lived a long time ago, so he uses pretty big words, but it's an attunement, a redirection, and a loosening up, and it's a purified relaxation. So, and this guy knew what he was talking about. 100,000, juice baths.
100,000 case studies.
That's pretty impressive. And but also he said, here's what gets me when you think of the paradigm that this guy lived in, right? While fasting, the patient improves her or his physical health and gains much, and very much indeed, but get this, but he or she will have neglected the most important thing if the hunger for spiritual nourishment that manifests itself during the fasting is not satisfied. And especially our next guest, Mark Kearns, will talk about that part too. But again, think about it. Last part of the 1800s and starting of the 20th century.
It was pretty progressive for him to say that at that time, considering the time and the place that where he made this statement. So. Yeah. Then there's also Dr. Joel Fuhrman. He's a medical doctor. You probably would have heard of him. He is the author of the New York Times bestseller Eat to Live. And he has been seen on a lot of shows such as CNN, Dr. Oz, I'm sure, many different places.
And what he says that in his practice, he's seen through juice fasting and fasting in particular, eliminate things like arthritis, lupus, chronic skin conditions, what else? Eczema, I think he said. And also healing of the digestive tract, things like Crohn's disease, and even cardiovascular disease. These things, we're not bound to them. It's not like, it'll all come. It'll come for sure if we keep doing what we were doing, which is not drinking, eating,
and throughout the fast, I was keeping track of things in a blog, which we were posting every few days. What physical things we were experiencing, what emotional things we were experiencing, some of the things that we went in with the purpose of helping with. I made a video. I spoke very candidly about some of my hormonal challenges. Yes, I'm a woman approaching 40. PMS, that sort of thing that I found. It was huge, like life-changing for that. So
it really is. I mean, just one thing, I think, the sleep.
The sleep, yeah. I had for a long time had a hard time with sleeping.
What's a long time? I think some people can appreciate
a long time being years. Years. And a couple days in, starting the juice fast, I was sleeping the whole night. And if you have problems sleeping, I know how much you could appreciate that. Yeah. So,
and especially, by the way, since the body does most of the regeneration and the healing during sleep. So if we don't get good, proper sleep, well, we're destined for some kind of degenerative lifestyle disease. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out.
And so while there's plenty out there in favor of juice fasting, we also know there's lots of less than favorable statements by doctors and medical professionals out there. about juice
And
fasting.
to be honest with you, and really, we focused on those practitioners and doctors who actually had done one or actively participated in guiding people through fasts, right? Because only then can you really speak from personal experience rather than some book knowledge that somebody just learned and just regurgitates. And it doesn't matter if it's a doctor, right, or somebody else. If it's not personal experience, ideally you want to have both, right? That's why we say be smart, be healthy, and be inspired. You want to have both to help. And your healthcare provider, for example, may not be the best person to talk about if you want to talk to them about juice fasting. They may not, right? I mean, just be mindful of that fact. Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, please be smart and prudent when you're speaking with your healthcare provider, and be aware that you may have to look for someone qualified who can give you good and current information about this.
Yeah, and you know what? Just because somebody is qualified or a medical professional doesn't mean that they actually can speak to what it is that you're asking them about. But it has never stopped to giving their opinions, right? So please be smart and prudent about it, and you're going to be good to go. So, well, we talked to Donna. Can we just quickly check with, is Mark already in the green room?
Yeah.
He's on. Well, then I think let's go straight to Mark, right?
Yeah, because we have talked about some of the health benefits of doing a juice cleanse.
Juicing, yeah.
Juicing. Yeah. Mark, we did a great interview with him. Actually, it was amazing because it was right at the beginning of our cleanse when really I was going through my toughest time with some of the emotional aspects that were being brought up, and the information that he gave was really helpful for me. And often the emotional side of doing a cleanse is not talked about, as well known as the physical detox center. Mark on to talk to him.
Yeah, absolutely, because he helped us both, and because Rebecca said she had some emotional challenges, but so did I. I mean, honestly, it just manifests a little different. But Mark, he is on mute?
Yeah, I can't get him off mute.
Oh, Mark
Should be here.
Okay.
Are you there, Mark?
I should be.
Yes, there you are.
So you know what? Since you are here, why don't we actually let you introduce yourself to our audience and to our viewers, and just take it away for us, Mark.
Hopefully I have this thing hooked up, and I hope that you can see me.
We can see you now.
We can
Excellent.
see you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
My name is Mark Kearns, and I am a life coach and a self-empowerment coach. And I've been here with my handy notepad taking notes because I've been on and listening to you guys for a while, and absolutely fantastic information coming across. And you guys look great. You actually are glowing. A lot slimmer than you were 40 days ago, but
yeah, both of us about 20 pounds slimmer than we were.
but you're looking great. And let me tell you, this has been just information packed, and I figured it would be after going through the experience that you guys have gone through. I love what Donna had to say, and especially about her mom going through menopause and having such a great result from juicing. And that alone, believe me, because I've worked with a bunch of women going through menopause, and that information alone is gold.
Yeah.
So I hope that word gets out to women so they can take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You mentioned the mental clarity. You mentioned the emotional things that you go through. Let's keep in mind, if we zero in, we talk about the physical part of the juice fast and the fact that we're detoxing and that we're detoxifying the organs that are in our body. straightening up the digestive system, getting everything back in line. Really, what are we doing? We're changing the vibration of the body, and it's zeroed in on the absolute scientific part of it. We're dealing with vibration. We're all just energy. So as the energy of daily life begins to take its toll, and we suppress these emotions, and pretty soon the body does what it always does when a foreign substance enters the body. It encapsulates it and tries to keep it away from the rest of the body. So we begin to gain weight, and we begin to blown out in our middle, and we begin to puff out and have bloating problems and all of this. So as you begin that juice fast, now you're not only detoxifying the physical part of the body, you're literally changing the vibration of the body. Now once you do that, you begin to also change the vibration of the thoughts that you hold. And Rebecca, you mentioned the mental clarity that came along with it. Well, all of a sudden, you don't have to compete with these emotions that you've just been stuffing down, because all of this is coming out whether you like it or not. And this is
that is so true.
Well, we talked about this when you first started, because I've seen a lot of people who have gone through fast, and just as you said, nothing could be truer. They're not emotionally prepared to go through. They think it's just a physical process, and that's probably the least impactful of everything. The emotional thing is what catches your mind front and center. And you almost are giving the body and the mind and the spirit permission to let everything come out, bring it in front of your eyes, let you deal with it, and let you release it. Get rid of it. And as you do that, you change the vibration, and you bring the physical part of the body, the mental part of the body, the spiritual part, and the emotional part back into harmony, back as one unit. And what's the result? Look at you guys. You guys are glowing. Y'all could probably glow in the dark.
Yeah, but we're not radioactive.
No. You know, food was always, if you read, as Dina, you've read, as you read about the ancient traditions, food was not only a source of nutrition, it was a medicine. It was designed to be a medicine, and throughout history you've had people like Dr. Royal Lee, pioneers in nutrition, that have realized that whole food nutrition is not just food, it is medicine. And you can correct a whole bunch of physical ailments, and not to mention emotional ailments, simply by adjusting what you're taking in. Excellent information. I'm telling you, I've been writing notes left and right.
Well, thank you, Mark. One of the things that for all of you that haven't actually had the chance to go onto our podcast or on our YouTube channel, we had this great interview with Mark right at the start of our 40-day juice cleanse, and maybe you can just, in a very condensed way, Mark, describe. Because I think even if somebody only just starts out on, adding juices in and maybe more whole foods, doesn't have to be a 4-day fast or something, there might be some emotions and some things coming up already. So how would you suggest that somebody who is new to all of that, what could help them kind of get through those rockier first couple days? Because like you said, when the body feels it doesn't have to protect anymore and it actually can move into a healing phase, some of those detox symptoms that we'll still talk about are also emotional. So what would you say as an expert and maybe we'll also share that you have written 2 books as well, and one of them specifically on how your mind can aid you heal cancer. I mean, you are no stranger to these fields of how our minds are powerful. So what would you recommend to somebody that's feeling some of these challenges?
Sure. Let me say this. The mind is capable of and does heal. You can help that by not continuing to throw things on the fire, throw emotions, suppress the emotions, push the emotions down. Now you find that you eat not out of need for nutrition, but as a crutch, as an addiction. Mm-hmm. So you're just compounding that problem. First of all, let's realize this. The emotions that you are experiencing, even though you are experiencing in a physical body, these are not your emotions. These are the emotions of the ego. Not your ego. This is not your true nature, the ego. So we take ownership of it because we hear the voice in our head, and I'm sure you went through that experience.
Yeah.
Only every
you feel the emotion in your body, okay? But and you go, well, because I feel the emotion, because I hear the voice, it must be mine. It's not. It's the emotion of the ego. So recognize it as such. Don't think you're broken because these things are happening. Recognize that they're happening simply because you're opening the door. So why not open the door a little more? One of the simplest things that you can do is, as you connect with that emotion, let that emotion come. You're going to feel it as a tightness either in your chest or in your stomach. Imagine that you had a tube that would go right into that energy and let it out. So as you're going through the detox process, you're also going through the emotional and the spiritual release. It's just energy. Recognize it as just energy.
And I think, like, I found that to be key is, instead of reaching for something, some food or something to put in your mouth, or
usually something sugar.
Yeah, it was usually something sugar for me. To not feel something was to actually sit for, and I believe that Donna said in our interview with her, even 90 seconds. 90 seconds to sit and actually feel what you don't want to feel. And that, I believe, is kind of what you are describing there, is to actually feel it, which gives it a chance to go away, basically.
We're gonna notice the feeling. The most powerful thing is not the thoughts in our mind. It's the feeling that we generate in our heart. Yeah. Because that feeling is literally changing the field around you and around everything that you come in contact with. We all live in this field. So it's not our thoughts that impact this field so much as it is the emotion that we generate in our heart that changes this field. So don't be scared of these emotions, although everybody's knee-jerk reaction is, oh my God, I'm crazy. I'm having all of these emotions happening. Yeah. So we try to stuff them back down. Let them come out. It's just energy. If you could take and open yourself wide open, you wouldn't see anything. There would be no memory there. There would be no event there. There would be no harsh words or judgment or anything else. This is just energy. If you realize it is just energy, release it. Let it go. Open the door up in either your chest or your stomach and let the energy out. It wants to move. And once you do that, you'll notice that you begin to feel better. You begin to feel lighter. In your case, y'all began to experience more mental clarity. Wow, this stuff was just being released.
Yeah.
And it literally, it's almost like it was crystallized in our body, and it broke down as we, went deeper into the fast, and there were these waves, right?
Yeah, it really did come in waves. Yeah.
And and then something would happen. All of a sudden, my liver worked super hard, and I started, that my skin was releasing, and I found myself, thoughts or memories that I hadn't thought about in, I can literally say in some cases, decades. They came all up in a short period of time, and while it wasn't necessarily about analyzing it and understanding how to, what it all means, it was just simply letting it flow, sitting with the feeling and just letting it pass. And it's incredible. Honestly, it's incredible, because usually, like Rebecca said, we reach for something, we go shop online, we talk with people. We
Something to distract yourself.
Some distraction. It doesn't really matter. If food's not your thing, I guarantee you have something that is your go-to coping strategy. And the juice fasting really, laid that bare how much there's even a biological addiction to things like sugar, the refined carbs and that, and how they really go hand in hand mentally as well.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, and the perfect answer, because if we sit and we try to analyze it, the thing that we always try to do is we ask our mind, ask our brain, what's the answer? Why are we doing this? And guess what the answer you get? Nothing. It doesn't know the answer.
Yeah.
If it would have known the answer, it would have given it to you lifetimes ago. So now you beat yourself up because you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And now you continually go through this emotional, mental, spiritual loop. Ask for the answer, you don't have it, you beat yourself up.
Yeah.
So just let the experience come. Just recognize it makes no difference what label you put on it. If you call it anger, let the anger out. If you call it judgment, let the judgment out. If you call it lust, if you call it fear, if you call it apathy, it makes no difference. Just let it come, get in touch with it, and let it come out. Just let it go.
Great advice, Mark.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Mark, I really appreciate that you took the time to spend some time with us here today. So grateful. Everybody, Mark's website is yourinfinitesuccess.com, and we will put a link in the description as well, so you will be able to get in contact with Mark. Could you please, just so that everybody hears, what are the 2 books that you have available on Amazon? What are those books, Mark?
One of them is My Mind Over Cancer, and the other one is Fearless Self-Confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we talked a lot about fearless self-confidence. That's a big part, being courageous, and I think that's really cool. Mark, thank you
guys
so much.
lived it, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. My honor to be here, and congratulations. You guys look great. You've done a great job. I can't wait to see your book out.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Thank you.
Hope so.
Y'all take care.
All right.
Thank you. Honor to have you, Mark. Thank you.
Mark. So we're so blessed to. That's one of the things that our Juice Fast really created for us, because our desire to learn more and to step outside the narrow confines of our own minds has really brought us in contact with people like Danna and Mark and
I love the people that we have met along the way, the experiences that we have just by stepping outside of our comfort zone and really stepping outside of our comfort zone with the fast and even putting things online.
It's like being vulnerable, because it's so much easier to consume information, and we'll kind of put together how much it actually took to just create this Livecast. I mean,
and part of it also was, and I think it's important to mention, was to show our kids that you can make choices for yourself that maybe are different than other people's choices, and they consume so much content on the internet, TV, otherwise, and to do something inspiring for yourself, hopefully inspire others, and create your own content and put it out there was what we really wanted to show them could be done. So,
and I did promise our 8-year-old and mention him on the show, because he's fasting from his iPad, and he's graciously donated it as part of the setup for our Livecast here. So thank you, Alex, for fasting can take many ways, right? I mean, that's a thing that we want to point out too. One of the things that we really need to put a caution as well. And first off, though, if you have any questions, please take the time, put them in chat. We'll compile them all. We'll see how many we can get to today, but we're committed to answering all of them.
And we're also committed to continuing to put great information out that we find inspiring, and letting you know what it is. So,
but I think we want to make a little caution. Just again, you might be inspired and you might be ready to go and do your own juice cleanse. In general, we'll be all for it. There's a couple of things that maybe we can talk about when it's maybe not a good idea and when we must not attempt a juice fast. And I just want to make this clear because, again, we don't know you. We hope that a lot of people will come to this video even after the live cast, right? When it's on, you might watch us on YouTube. So we want to tell you, please go ahead, look into it. But especially when you're pregnant or nursing, please don't go into a juice fast on your own. Talk with somebody that's really qualified to help you.
And if you're diabetic or you suffer from a hypo or hyperglycemia, a juice cleanse is more suitable with greens only.
Yeah, or any kind of diagnosed eating disorder, really. Having close supervision is really vital. You may have tuned in later on. Rebecca and I spent well over $1,000 in tests. So we didn't just one day wake up and decide.
We're not going to eat for the next 40 days.
Yeah. So we really went through a process of research, of making ourselves knowledgeable. And for example, if you will be or have just undergone surgery, add fresh juices to your diet, but really make sure, are you in a condition where abstaining from solid food for 4 or more days is really in your best interest? It may be, we just can't say it from here.
And if you're on moderate to high doses of daily prescription medication, consult with your health professional who is skilled in nutrition or detoxification. Just do that anyways at the start.
Yeah, and by the way, don't stop taking your meds. There's this amazing Super Choose Me documentary, and even Joe Cross from Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Yeah, those guys got off medication, and that's great, but they worked with doctors, right? They worked with doctors in the background, and you want to have that same support. So
yeah. Also, if you have kidney or liver disease, if you're anemic, if you have low blood pressure, terminal disease, epilepsy, other chronic conditions, we cannot advise you to juice fast, although there's lots of information out there that suggests that there are benefits of doing a juice fast.
And in fact, maybe Rebecca, for the people that don't know, what got you into juicing?
Well, I started juicing years ago. Not juice fasting, but juicing to help out with. I was anemic and couldn't get iron to stay in me in any other way. I was taking it as prescribed by my doctor, but it wasn't staying. I wasn't absorbing it, and it really wasn't until I started adding the green leafy vegetables and juicing them and consuming them that my iron levels started to go up. And that's what got me into it. So. It's important to know that juice cleansing is best for people who have health problems, and this is key, want to get well.
I would even say are committed, because there's a difference in being interested. A lot of us want to be healthy, but are we committed to making the choices that where our whiny mind goes, or that voice in our head, kind of keeps us from doing that. So when you decide to go on a juice cleanse, do get acquainted with some of the implications and know what to expect in order to benefit. And we'll do even a show, I think, separately about that, because that's really important. And
it's powerful medicine, so know how to treat it with respect and care.
Yeah, I think that's really important to say. I just want to get this out there. But let's really, just to kind of round it off, let's talk about actually all the wickedly awesome benefits of juice fast.
I think, Dieter, we're coming up to the end of our
okay,
podcast.
well,
and there's so much information. Like, there is so much information out there.
Let's give people the chance for the next 10 minutes. We're gonna keep it open about 5 minutes. You guys have 5 minutes from now on to head over juicingtobliss.com. Put in your name and number. that will allow you to get entered into our contest where you could win a juicer, and you can also win Amazon gift cards, and thanks to Donna, you can also win a 50-minute free coaching session with her, which is just, I think, such a, well, thank you so much, Donna, again, for doing that.
So we'll take the next 5 minutes to go through some of the benefits of juice fasting.
And when we're done with that?
I don't think we're going to get to the,
No.
unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to the mindset part of it today, which we're going to have to do a whole separate thing on that, because that is overrides it all and is key.
Well, I think it kind of, that thread, has kind of woven itself throughout the show, even here today. So,
so some of the benefits of juice fasting is to rest and repair the gut. And as we've already mentioned, toxic foods, including saturated fats, refined carbs, foods with additives, pesticides, and allergenic foods, taking medicines such as antibiotics and antacids, and even stress. All of these things can impair the intestines functioning.
Yeah, and they can easily bring about an imbalance in the gut microbiome. And people with leaky gut syndrome, they know all about that. But even for all of us, these substances, they build up over time, and that's why a juice fast is such a great time out. And we're going to go on to the next one. It's resting our stomach.
Resting the stomach. So
one of my favorites in juice fasting.
If your digestion is slow, or you are one of the tens of millions of people who are on acid-suppressing drugs and who often don't produce enough stomach acid, making the stomach work less to extract nutrients can be of a huge benefit. And according to WebMD, nearly 40% of older adults have one or more age-related digestive symptoms each year.
Yeah, and these bouts of indigestion, they're caused by those various factors that we were talking about. But on top of the medications, for example, there's also the fact that we're sitting most of the day, and we're dehydrated, chronically pretty much, and then just, our body, aging too. So that was one of my favorite parts, by the way, of our juice fast, is not having that feeling in the stomach of constantly having to work. That's one of my favorites.
Me too. The next one, giving the liver a rest. And, maybe people don't know how much the liver does, but it is actually our main detoxifying organ. It is involved with detoxifying harmful substances like environmental toxins, chemicals, food additives, drugs, etc., before they enter the bloodstream and harm the body. So it is a huge, it works really hard.
Because before we started researching, I didn't know that really every molecule of food, and I'm not joking, every single molecule of food, that actually is absorbed through the intestinal wall. The fiber is not absorbed, but the food part moves into the liver for detoxification and preparation before being allowed to enter the rest of the body. So, that's...
So your liver works hard, especially in today's environment.
Yeah,
which is much more toxic than it has been in hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, and too many toxins, just, the liver basically is close to collapsing, and then all these toxins are spilling over time into the body, and that's just the overload of the liver. And so resting the liver, giving it a time out, I think is really key.
And beets are key to helping your liver out. Also, juice fast can reduce your appetite. So while juicing doesn't really shrink the stomach, although it feels like it does, it eliminates the habit of comfort eating and makes you feel satisfied with less food than usual. And we can both attest that this is so the case. And it provides a big psychological boost to help us get over the hurdle of changing eating habits.
And the addiction to our foods, right?
Yep.
Especially sugar. Definitely sugar.
And we can both attest that this is true as well.
Yeah, losing weight, that's another one. Once you feel better and have more energy, our bodies naturally lose the weight. Like Mark said, the body tries to isolate and encapsulate, and that's how we actually put on the weight. And it's a great way to jumpstart a diet, even if it's, but for that, it would be 3 days minimum, because there's an actual process. But that's why we did a 4-day fast that you can get for free.
And really, weight loss was not our big intention because we weren't really big people to begin with. But we did take before and after pictures, which we posted up on all of our sites.
Yeah, and that was crazy.
And we were shocked, like shocked at the difference and the areas where the difference came from. Both of us lost close to 20 pounds.
And we were no couch potatoes beforehand.
No, we worked out 5 days a week. So.
But it's just a lot of it is that emotional weight that you carry around, and you know the liver has a part in that, but there's an emotional component to that as well.
Another benefit is improving your energy. So after the first couple of days, the adjustment period, and that's like getting through the withdrawals from
like coffee, for my
sugar,
case,
coffee, alcohol, those kinds of things. After you get through these first few days, most people begin to feel more energy and clarity when they're consuming fresh juices, and we can attest that this is 100% true. Much better than any caffeine drinks. Dieter would know because he drank 8 of coffee.
Yeah. So, and I haven't actually had coffee even after stopping with the juice fast. I haven't had really any cravings. So again, it goes to show how that changes your palate and your mental, and your physical thing, right? So reducing physical aches and pain. I do want to talk about that because many chronic symptoms like headaches, rashes, or general aches and pain, including cramping and bloating, all of this stuff, lack of sleep for you, it's the body constantly trying to fight off, the stuff we put in it, and taking a break and resting the body and the mind, and then flooding it with our powerhouse veggies, that naturally reduces pain and the aches that's associated with all that. So I know I felt it.
I felt it huge.
And I'll talk more about that because I was scheduled to have an injection actually for my knee, that fully reconstructed ACL about a year and a half ago, and I still had pain and chronic pain, and I canceled that. So we'll go into that more another time, but just it's noteworthy.
Then there is cellular regeneration. And switching to a largely organic plant-based diet allows our 75 trillion cells to work optimally to re-establish different internal messaging and manufacturing processes. So basically your cells are happy.
Yeah, that's really all we're going to say about that. That's a huge topic, right? And it's not one magic juice cleanse that's going to change it all for you or even for us, but it's gotten us started on a road that's really exciting.
It's a good boost to changing your lifestyle.
And we know of a family of 6 that was one of those people that actually didn't even own a juicer, didn't let that stop them, found somebody who had a juicer, and they made it through the 4-day fast. So really,
for six people.
I mean, I still want to see those pictures. I haven't gotten them yet. I'm told there are pictures of how much fruits and veggies for 6 people you need. I still want to see those pictures. We'll post them on Facebook. But again, it's just such a powerful thing. And right about now, we're going to make a cut where we're going to close the opportunity for you to get a free juicer, win a free juicer, or our Amazon gift cards. So I will step off camera. Rebecca, if you want to talk a little bit about what's next for us and what's next, for going forward for us. Like, are we just gonna shut down everything, or are we gonna stay connected with people? And I will be back in a couple seconds, and we will announce the winner. Possibly we can even put it up on the lower third. Just give me a couple minutes, and we won't disappoint. All right, take it away.
So Dieter and I have been finished with our cleanse for just over a week now. And we didn't get to this part of it, but how you break your fast is almost and maybe more important than the fast itself. So we really had to start slow with just fruits for a while. We've had some vegetables and easy to, it's almost like we're babies again, learning how to eat. So babies, you know, you start with the mashed bananas and the peas and stuff. So that's kind of how we are reintroducing things into our systems. And the longer you've been fasting, the longer this process is taking. So, and I can honestly say that neither of us have cravings for anything that we would have had cravings for before. Actually, we get excited when we go to the farmer's market or see fresh vegetables. You know, I'm not even really keen to introduce meat back into my diet, and having the source of that meat, antibiotic, hormone-free, feels really important to me now. It's amazing how when you clean yourself out, that how you feel about what you put back in, and again, those cravings for sweet things, processed things, just aren't there. So we don't want to go back to our old habits. I don't believe we will go back to our old habits. And that's really key when you're doing a fast, because if you go back to your old habits, well, eventually it's going to lead back to where you were. So we didn't get to the whole section about mindset, which I'm a little disappointed in, because mindset is huge. But we are going to do more on that, because with all the people that we have interviewed throughout the process, and watch for these interviews to come out, we've been a little backlogged with putting them together and getting them out, social casting them out on our Facebook, YouTube, etc. But that has been key, is learning to examine what your habits are, and your habits just come from thoughts that you have over and over again. A lot of it is your condition, we call it conditioning, but the things that you grew up with, what you learned, what you've been surrounded by, and really a lot of those are unconscious in terms of what you do. And during a fast, you really become conscious, aware of what these things are, and when you are aware of them, that's when you can make a choice as to what it is that you want to choose to put into your body, what it is that you want to choose to think, and the things that you want to do going forward. So I can't tell you how that has been, how big that has been for us, and the fact that you actually have a choice. So whereas before, maybe unconsciously, we would be reaching for, I'll tell you, I went into the kitchen, and every time I walked through the kitchen, I pretty much grabbed the cookie, every time. And I love chocolate, so, you know, each night I would usually have some form of chocolate, sometimes a whole chocolate bar. And most of the time, this wasn't really done with my awareness of it. Because I like to think that I was making healthy choices to begin with, and you know, maybe compared to some people I was, but this really a lot of awareness, and this is key. So we are going to continue to post information up on our different sites. We love interviewing people. We love talking to different people in the area of health and wellness. We love sharing, and we love inspiring as well. And it's amazing the number of people that we have actually spoken with that have been inspired to do some sort of cleanse of their own, whether it's 4 days, whether it's 1 day, whether it's 2 days, it doesn't matter, even 40 days, but I'm not going to say you're going to be that crazy, but start from where you are, and you may be the only one on the block. This is important to remember. You may be the only one on the block. You may get negative feedback from others. People can be afraid of something like this. And yet you can see the domino effect that happens just from when we talked to Donna about how she did the fast. And then her mother tried the fast. And then other people thought, hey, you looking good. Look at your skin. Look how much energy you have. And they tried the fast. So, and I'm pleased to say that even my own mom, who I love very much, but I honestly didn't think would ever even consider this, and didn't sound like she would consider this at the start of when we started doing this, is now getting her first juicer delivered on Monday and is investigating what kinds of recipes that she wants to make, wants to try our 4-day recipe. So it is amazing what can happen if you just go ahead and be you and not be afraid of certain things. And now I'm distracted by Dieter, who's coming here because I'm excited.
It'll take us a couple minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to look at, Zachary kind of posted for us the, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
And you know, it is excited. You know, I'm excited for that juicer to show up. And
like I said, not sponsored, people. We are not sponsored. Nobody bought the juicer. Nobody's paying us to sit up here and tell you this. We are just passionate. We are buying the juicer ourselves. We want to share, and we want to see more of that domino effect of people trying it, inspiring others to try it, inspiring others, and outwards from there. So that's our only motive, guys.
All right, so there are a few questions. We'll see how many we get to, but I love this one. Okay, get this. What did you feed your kids while you were fasting? And by the way, love the shirts. Well, thank you. What did we feed our kids?
The kids ate a regular diet. Yeah, they did have some juice. Like I said, we're still working on juice shots with them.
And I know I'm the first one to tell you that we may not be where you might already be at, right, with your kids. So maybe they are far more agreeable to healthy, lots of fruits or lots of vegetables. Ours are not.
Not so much, no.
That's just where we start off. But one of the ways, the sneakier ways, is to working it into things where we put in, for example, pasta sauce, right?
Yeah.
Where we, and pulp, for example.
Good use of the pulp.
Good use of the pulp. Yeah.
So they did eat a regular diet. They, you know, I know several people asked that throughout the fast. Well, are your kids doing it too? Well, no, you know, kids don't need to fast.
Yeah.
Can they use more fruits and vegetables? Absolutely. Can the juice be beneficial to them? Absolutely. But they are young. They don't need. They don't need the fasting.
You know what? At that age, you know, the body really has all the resources, and it doesn't have that same toxic load that we were talking about.
And they were actually excited to get up there and throw the fruits and vegetables into the juicer. Oh, yeah. We had a little step stool because my son's a little bit smaller, and he would get up on there and throw things down the chute.
And these things weren't staged. If you kind of followed us throughout, they were actually genuinely excited. I know that our daughter also headed up our Instagram division.
Was it easy to go grocery shopping for them? Sometimes, no. Most of the time, no.
And then, you know, in some ways they did also benefit already from us, you know, putting more vegetables and stuff into our diet, right? So I would definitely encourage you. We've found some really good ways to help out with that for our kids. So if you have more specific questions, but again, I think we're getting ready to, okay, there's a good one. Would you like to purchase a masticating juicer in the future? Is time an issue for you? Wouldn't you love for your kids to have a good sleep instead of being woken up by your current juicer?
Yeah, they get a pretty good sleep anyways.
They get a pretty good sleep to start. But thank you. It's a very considerate question, actually.
Yeah. And it is something that we want to do in the future, that we want to get a masticating one. And we want to have the option of having both to work
and I
with.
owned one for years and years and years. So it's not I'm new to that. I can really speak from, I actually had a triturating. So that's the one with the 2 gears. Yes, but you know what? I wouldn't give away our centrifugal juicer at all, actually, because there are things that I would still juice with that juicer, and it comes back to this: convenience is key as well. You know, that shiny $400-500, maybe even more, you know, masticating juicer that sits somewhere in a cupboard
is not better if it sits in a cupboard.
It's not better, right? So the key is really mindset and how to start the steps to create a healthier lifestyle.
And I want to address this question here. When juice fasting, is there a limit to the amount of juice you can have? This is an important one, and it's actually no. Drink as much as you can, and really learning to listen to your body throughout is huge, which we did. And actually, we started out drinking less, and then by the end of the fast, we were really drinking more. We were probably drinking double what we started out. Yeah. And just, it's not, you're not here to restrict yourself.
No, remember, it's fasting, not starvation. So the idea is really to learn to listen to your body. You know, I mean, if anything, in those 2.5 hours or however long, I don't even know how long we've been on here, but it's learning to listen to our bodies more than what we believe we should be doing, right? I think that's the key. Mm-hmm. Hey, guess what? You know, through the magic of cloud technology, we just got the winners of our contest.
Thank you, Zachary.
Woohoo! Thank you, Zachary. Okay, who won?
The juicer is lucky.
It's James.
James.
So we won't name any last names.
But James, you will be hearing from us.
I hope we only had one James. I believe so. Otherwise, well, James, I think I know who you are. Okay, Amazon gift cards, Deanna.
Congratulations, Deanna.
Congratulations. And the other Amazon gift card
is Rhoda.
Rhoda, congratulations. The T-shirt goes to
Ryan.
Ryan.
You'll be you will all be hearing from us.
We'll give you a choice of 2 T-shirts because did we mention creativity goes up?
You might like the pink one, Ryan. We're not sure. So
I wasn't referring to pink. I was referring to design. But maybe you like pink, Ryan. Who knows? I love pink on Rebecca. So and coaching goes to Tina. And I think
Tina.
We know who you are too.
Congratulations, Tina. That was so nice of Donna to offer that. So
that was totally. So thank you, everybody, for being with us on this live cast. I really hope it was. I
hope you got something out of it.
Yeah, I really do, because we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I know I'm passionate about this stuff, but I'm also grateful that my partner, maybe we'll talk about that my partner sticks with me in some of those adventures. And you know, if anybody asks whose idea it was that we did 40 days, that was not my idea, by the way. And I love that we did it.
It started out being 30, and then it was actually me who changed it to 40. So that's kind of how hardcore we are. So.
And we still started with 1 day.
Yeah, exactly. We started with 1 day. And we did 2 days. I think we worked our way up to 3 days before we embarked on 40. Yeah. So that's important to remember.
So that's a really good part. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, for being with us. The link for the replay will be up on Facebook, and we'll post it to the people that have already subscribed as well.
And continue to watch for lots of great information coming out. We have a backlog of interviews with people who are hugely knowledgeable in this area.
Yeah, we really are only just two parents that are passionate about it. I have a full practice with clients. Rebecca, as a consultant, we're but this is something that, well, it's life-changing.
Yep.
Let's leave it at that. It's life-changing, and it can change your life too.
So there'll be lots more great information coming out.
So thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the rest of this amazing weekend.
And if you're inspired to start yourself, I'll say it one last time.
Yeah.
Juicingtobliss.com, fully guided and, important to say, free juice fast that can get you started on 4 days and hopefully inspire others around you to do the same.
All right. Well, thank you, and see you again soon. Be smart. Remember?
Be healthy.
Be smart, be healthy, and be inspired.
Thank you, Zach.
Did we turn?